am Suzanne McNeill. I'm going to take a wonderful trip with Doug Walton all through Mexico. And I'm keeping a scrapbook, a sketchbook. So I started this on the airplane, and every day I add to it. Here's the church, the parroquia in San Miguel. There's a parade every day, it seems like, in San Miguel. I like to keep a calendar of what we did every day, so when I get home I can remember everything. And this is my wonderful sketchbook and my treasure. I'd like to share my whole sketchbook with you. This is San Miguel, Mexico, 2010. And I started with the sun on the front because Mexico always just seems so sunny and friendly and happy. On the plane on the way down, I did my Zentangle sunshine and the Mexico words. I always like to put a little envelope inside of mine so I can keep my itinerary, phone numbers, people I met. And throughout my sketchbook, I like to use photos and drawings because they both have their own parts. Here's a map of Mexico so I'd know right where I was going to San Miguel. The next page is the beautiful Parroquia Church in San Miguel. And this page is actually a pull-out so that I can open it up and see how tall the actual parroquia is. And at night they would have a light show, so the church changed from pink to yellow to gold to blue to green. Seemed like every day there was a parade in the streets around the Jardín of San Miguel. Here's a representation of what the parades felt like to me. Right along the Jardín, the gigantic puppets, the big stars. Here's San Miguel, the little saint of San Miguel. There were Indian dancers, and then every day I try to keep a calendar so I can remember what the weather was and exactly what we did that day. You know, it's amazing how I can go on a trip for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and when I get back, I'm like, I know I was busy the whole time. I did all these wonderful things, saw museums and homes and met people, but unless I keep my calendar, I actually have a hard time remembering what I did every day, so the calendar's real important to me. Then Elvia has a beautiful home. She had mariachis on the celebration day. Her doors in front of her home are like 16th century big wooden doors that you walk through. And then when you go inside, there are all kinds of decorations. And inside there are more doors that open into her patio and her rooms. So here's just an idea of that situation. In her hacienda, 200-year-old hacienda, she has the most beautiful dining room for 20 people. And here's her hacienda, the original land grant to her grandfather of all the acreage. It was a 200-year-old hacienda that Elvia was able to save all the walls to. It's out on beautiful property. All the animals are there now, and it's the Lopez Hacienda. All she had to do was put the roof back on it and plaster the walls and redo some of the floors. Some of them she could even save after 200 years. So here's some of my friends that I went to San Miguel with. And in San Miguel, there's shops, 4 blocks of shops all around the Jardín that have the most wonderful and beautiful things. You can look inside the windows even when they're not open. They have all kinds of handmade folk art, ceramics, tin work, and every shop is beautiful. And you might notice in the windows, there are a lot of things that are the same in every shop. So this sketch, I did the window open so you could look inside of every shop and see the beautiful things. Then here's another page. This is every Sunday they have a house and garden tour in San Miguel, and you get to visit 3 to 4 beautiful, fantastic homes, usually owned by Americans, but when I was there we got to visit some Mexican homes also. Every room is decorated. Interesting, in San Miguel, in America, we a lot of times buy paintings framed and hang them on our walls, but in Mexico they prefer to decorate with photos of their family. Wonderful folk art and religious artifacts and beautiful country and bluffs all around San Miguel. It's up in the mountains in Mexico, so it has a temperate climate. When we were there, they had fabulous horse shows and a bullfight. And the last bullfight I went to was really fabulous for me because the bull won. They actually let him live, and the matador had to leave in disgrace. You know, this sketchbook, I did a lot of little pull-outs and pop-ups, so that makes it a lot of fun. A rug man came from Oaxaca one day and showed us all about the rugs and how they're dyed with the little cochineal insects that grow on the nopal cactus, and how if you put lemon on the cochineal that it turns one color. If you put lime on it, it turns another color. They can actually create about 50 colors to dye the wool for their rugs. When I first got there, I was meeting some friends in the airport, and we were supposed to arrive about the same time. But alas, their flight was delayed. So I looked around, and this is what a sketchbook's really wonderful for. If you have 3 or 4 hours you're waiting somewhere, there were some little dolls on some shelves, so I just drew those dolls as part of my memories. Here are some paintings I did while I was in San Miguel. More areas where I can save extra photos from the Mask Museum or the Huichol beading. And here's some little clippings I took out of the magazines there in San Miguel. Favorite colors of Mexico, red, white, and green. And there's some wonderful cut paper artists there in San Miguel. It was just a fabulous trip. I hope this inspires you to keep a sketchbook complete with photos and just quick sketches and drawings. To get started with your own sketchbook, here's a wonderful book. Gives all the tips, techniques, samples of great ideas for your book, and it's a lot of fun to do your own sketchbook and keep memories of your life.